Hi everybody, I'm Willem.
And I'm Tim.
And welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch. Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. And for those of us who are coming in for the first time, welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch, where me and Tim, this is Tim, just two nerds talking about stories. Really, I think we should just say stories, not just movies. We talk about stories.
Yeah. We started with movies,
Yeah.
and then we've kind of migrated to stories, and we've written a bunch of our own.
Go listen!
Yeah. Spoiler alert, today is like, what, our 25th story that we've written?
Something
crazy, maybe not.
We'll see.
Quite
so
that
it's
far, but
and we should say that some of the time, some episodes, I think we have a good difference of like one story that's strongly yours, strongly mine, but I think like there are a few that I was like, here's the idea, and then we both just, and that to me is Bergen's Bears. I think that is the story that was like, sure, my buddy came up with it and I brought the idea forward, but like, and honestly, like, what was another one? I think you really helped out with Soul Forged. I like that one a lot.
The Climb was another one that we worked pretty heavily together on.
That one was a lot of fun. That was that
was a ton.
We are really hoping that The Climb will be out by the end of this month. So 16 days. We have 16 days to get that written, recorded, and out to you guys as just an audio story that you all can listen to. So look forward to that.
And it doesn't happen this month. It'll happen next month.
I really need to try to I want to crack down on it. I want to try to make certain goals. And that's just me personally, because I struggle with that sometimes. Hooray for procrastinators. You know, I'm in a procrastinator meeting. We'll probably just meet tomorrow, not today.
Maybe the day after tomorrow.
Darn, I really hope you'd laugh thank you for building up with it. But yeah, welcome. And for those returning, thank you for coming back. And turns out we do have a little bit of people who don't watch the episode, because some of y'all congratulated Tim for the baby announcement. So that was cute.
Yeah.
And some of y'all said that we aren't professional. Well, look what we're wearing today. Look at this. This is honestly, it's just because of, this one's because of work.
This is because I wasn't feeling great, and I was like, I just need a lounge shirt. And this is comfy.
It's comfy. So, 80th episode. Oh. And Tim is bringing up an original story today. An original idea. We're going to go with it.
Not a sci-fi story this time.
Darn it.
I know the last several have been kind of
pretty sci-fi. I have a few that I actually have a fantasy and sci-fi one that kind of dreams. They were dreams that happened, and
we'll have to tackle those.
We'll have to tackle those soon. So, but yeah, take it away, Tim.
I guess to preface, I have been doing a lot of reading lately.
He does that a lot.
I just finished When in Truth.
Oh, if we can talk about stuff now,
guys. If you have read it, if you have read it, you know what I mean.
Do not know. We are a spoiler-free page when it comes to Brando Sando.
If you don't know what I mean,
go read it.
Go read it. It might take you a year to get through the whole thing. You know, all 5 books. But I think the Sanderson man,
the real Vorin man will listen. It is read to him, and that's what I did. The real Vorin man will listen. A real Alethi man will listen.
I got it.
Thank you.
Anyway, I think he said that 6 through 10 aren't going to come out before 2030. So we've got like 5 years.
I'm really hoping that he'll just we're
going to get Ghost Bloods. He's working on all 3 at the same time.
I don't care about the Man of Scars. I don't. He just, whatever. That's a lie. You all know I'm lying, but it left off on such a big cliffhanger.
Anyway, I've been
doing shepherd boy. Anyway,
I've been doing a lot of reading, and I just recently started Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I've had a story floating around for a while.
That's funny.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Okay.
So Yeah. Anyway, I've had this story floating around for a while, probably a good 6 or 7 years. Just
one of those kind of stories.
And originally this was before I had read The Way of Kings.
Okay.
And the 10 honor blades were a thing before I knew they were a thing. And I was like, I want a story that's Wind Waker, but there's 10 magic swords. I'm like, awesome. The 10 magic swords exists. And they're a pretty big deal in a certain five-story epic, 5-book epic story. So I've just kind of let the story float for a while. And then I started reading Tress, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to tackle this story again. So I started taking a crap ton of notes and taking ideas, and I was like, you know what? A story like this needs a unique magic system that might echo others that exist, but this one would be kind of unique in the way that it functions. And so I present to you the Web of Memories.
Whoa. Not the Web of Shadows? Not the Web of Lies?
No.
Not Madam Web?
No.
Yeah, okay.
The name will probably change. It's just Web of Memories kind of sounds good, and it kind of makes sense to a point. Maybe not the web part, but the memories. This world is heavily inspired by the Wind Waker. For those of you who don't know, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is my favorite video game of all time. It is my number one.
Really?
Yeah. It is my favorite Zelda game, and The Legend of Zelda is my favorite series. Ergo, it is my favorite game of all time.
So you're locked into a room for a year straight. You only get one video game.
I could play Wind Waker for a year straight. I could play Wind Waker for 10 years straight.
He basically has.
Yeah.
I never finished.
I know.
It's sad, and it's funny, and it's ironic because this is usually the part where I criticize Tim for not watching something, playing something, or reading something, and here I am.
It's his turn.
I am ashamed. I didn't grow up with. I got to the castle with the bird people, and you threw the girl, and Link would yell at her, "Come here!" You know, it's
literally the first dungeon.
Oh my gosh, I didn't get in for it. Oh
no, you can beat that game in 5.5 hours.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Without speedrunning. You can just play through it. Anyway, this world is an ocean world. It consists of scattered islands over an endless ocean. There's no continents, just these archipelagos and separate islands. The biggest island is probably only about as big as the city of Bountiful. They're not big. Maybe, I guess take another island. Antelope Island is probably not a good
I can't believe you didn't go with Antelope Island.
I didn't think about it until now.
The little tiny island we have right there. You see
or
it.
Stansbury Island, the one right behind it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was so shocked. I was Bountiful. Antelope Island's right there.
There are some areas where there's a few islands that are pretty closely grouped together, separated by maybe 100, maybe 200 feet of water. But that's it. Again, no continents, just these islands and little archipelagos, groupings of islands. Each island, each area is culturally distinct, and each holds a different, because of the differences in cultures, they hold different fragments and memories of the past.
Okay.
Within the culture itself, right? You take our Native Americans, for example. Each tribe, each group in the United States has a different history, and they've told these different histories for generations, and so they have all these different stories and different things from their history that they can draw upon to teach. I'll get to familiars in a minute. I'll get to those in a minute. I know I've piqued your interest now, huh?
I've been piqued. Okay, all right.
Travel is done classically just with big ships. A lot of them are wind ships, just with big wind sails. There's a few that are solar sails. They just run on solar power, I guess. Or spirit tethers.
Okay.
And these spirit tethers are kind of I don't know. They're kind of weird. The way that I've imagined these spirit tethers is the best way for me to describe it. Is they are tethered to the spirit of the world itself and to the spirit of the memories of the people that have lived in the world in the past. And so these tethers kind of take these ships and almost magnetically draw them to these powerful sources of memory, if that makes any sense. Maybe a memory tether would make more sense. Anyway, the magic system. I think this is a really fun magic system. I think you'll find this cool. It's called memory weaving.
Okay.
Hence web of memories. You're weaving with memories.
This is our third weaving story.
This one's a little different. Kind of. I say that, but the practitioners of these arts, of this magic, are called weavers. So I guess maybe not that different. Threads, basically these threads of memory can be drawn out of people, artifacts, places, and they can be woven into tools or clothing or tattoos even. Ooh. As our main character will have a tattoo. And these memories can also just be manifested. You take what you remember and you can just make it poof into existence, but at the cost of the memory itself. So
if I made grandma's a memory of something my grandma made me,
you would never remember it again but you would have it. So, for example, a lot of people would take memories of different tools and weapons and a massive array of these weapons and tools so that they could draw upon those at a later time. Soldiers would often take a memory, kind of almost like Shalon, right, where she takes a memory, like a mental picture of something, and they'll do that of a rack of swords, and so they'll pick one of these swords and they will draw it out of their memory, and it's no longer in their heads, and it is now in their hands.
So this isn't like Harry Potter where you can, they pull the memory out and put it in the pensieve or whatever that thing was called. Mm-hmm. And
it kind of is like that, except instead of drawing out these wisps to look at the memory, they're drawing it out to
shape it into that.
Shape it into something.
So why wouldn't, and this is just me this isn't me trying to tear this down. This is me just asking questions in a world building, because most of our episodes are about world building. That's just how it goes. Why would I, as a soldier, forget? Would I forget how to use said weapon?
No, you are remembering the weapon itself, the item itself. If you wanted to pull a memory of utility, of the ability to use something, that is where you're able to take that memory and weave it into something. Such as a tool or a piece of clothing or a tattoo. For example, a shovel. You might take a memory from someone of how to use a shovel and weave it into that shovel. So now anybody who uses that shovel instinctively knows how to use a shovel effectively, efficiently.
So therapeutically, if I have trauma,
you could take it out and you could stick it in an origami crane and then burn it.
That's how you get voodoo dolls.
Could.
Here's to my awful ex. Here's a lovely gift. They hold on the doll. Oh my gosh, this is what you felt? That's...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am... Ooh.
Yeah. I've got... It doesn't have to be one-to-one either. The ability to use, say, the ability to drive a car like Baby Driver, right? Like just be absolutely insane, the best driver in the world. I could take that skill and I could put it into a pair of gloves, and then I wear those gloves and I can drive absolutely crazy. Or I could put that ability.
You weave them into it.
I weave it into it. I could weave it into a tattoo. And now I just have that ability so long as that tattoo is there. Or I put it into I put it into a cup. And as long as I'm holding that cup, I can drive. Right?
Karaoke nights would be awesome. There's a microphone that everyone can just sing with. That'd be awesome. Everyone just sings amazing vocal cord. So how long does this stay, and does like all things, do memories fade?
Yes.
So
the stronger the memory, the longer it will last. The stronger and the more ancient the memory, the longer it will last.
So
there are some memories from, say, we wanted to take a memory of the Civil War, right? Someone's loading a musket. It's instinct for them. We draw out that memory from the musket itself because the memory would be stuck in the musket. We take the memory out and put it into an object, weave it into something else, right? Like a uniform, and then whoever wears that uniform will be able to use a musket perfectly as if they were in the Civil War, and it would last longer than if I, say, took a memory of myself shooting a handgun for the first time. Like that was only a handful of years ago. That's not going to last nearly as long. Because the memory's kind of just been sitting and simmering. The older the memory, the longer it lasts. And the stronger the memory, the longer it lasts. So like you said, with those trauma memories, some of those are incredibly powerful and they would last a really long time. And that's kind of where a lot of the warfare in this world would be more of that psychological warfare. I'm weaving my incredible trauma from watching my parents burn alive, and I'm sticking that into a water balloon, and then I'm sprinkling the whole island with that. And so as long as the water is on the people, they feel that immense
memorial
pain.
Warfare.
Yeah.
Memorial. I feel like that should tie into the name Memorial War or something. Well, I'm guessing we're not going to be going into wars.
No, there'll be a few hints to it. For example, like someone will mention how memory warfare works and how taking traumatic memories and assaulting people with them.
So when people
is now illegal because of massive wars and stuff.
So I'm sorry, I don't want to like world bills forever, but now I'm kind of want to ask this, and if we could implement this in your world, that when people are dying, their memories will seep out. So that's why when you go to some wars, places where they've had wars, it's a scar just from all the Like, could you imagine stepping? You know how we say, whether or not you believe in sort of things, but when you typically go to places of great wars, places of awful atrocities, you feel something. Imagine that in this world.
Yeah. That is kind of how it works.
Okay.
Memories, the memories of the dead are kind of lost in that when the person dies, right, the memories kind of die with them, and the stronger memories kind of seep automatically into their surroundings, into their clothing, into the ground around them. And so if they're a very good natured person, their grave might sprout flowers and be a lot more lush and green and comforting, able to grow and more comforting than the grave of some mass murderer whose only job was to kill people. What about someone
who was murdered? Would their grave site be... Oh, could you imagine if you stumbled upon like a plot of land and you just feel something terrible and you go, oh no, and you call the... So, ooh. All right, yes, Tim, you're right. My interest is very piqued. Yes. We have to be careful. Proud. We have to be very careful because this might be a long episode if we get sidetracked. But I will.
I'm very proud of this magic system. I like it.
The idea of, so if to go with the question of the baby driver with gloves, since let's say I made that memory, even if I'm an old man, when I put those, would I know that this is my memory? Would my body be more suitable for said memory, or will my memories go back into me? That's what I've been wondering. Is
think of it as what is it? Is it Nigrosil in Mistborn, the second trilogy, where they're able to take
warmth?
Investiture itself. Where you put something into it so that other people can use it, right?
Okay.
Those coins have two parts to them because someone dumped investiture into the one so that they can...
The good version of what's the hemalurgy?
Yes.
The correct version, yes. The baby of ferrochemy and hemalurgy. The correct way to do it.
Yeah.
The proper way.
I think it's a total side note. But
you don't want spikes in you, Tim?
I think the magic systems of Mistborn are totally awesome because
I think they're the best one.
You have allomancy, which is purely additive, right? You ingest metal and it gives you power. Then you have ferrochemy, which is completely neutral, where you are able to store and then draw upon it later. You're able to store your abilities and different elements in metal and then draw upon them one-to-one. And then there's hemalurgy, which is completely subtractive, where there's always
taking
that little bit of energy lost.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to say this. A Mistborn, a fully fledged Mistborn, and a full-on ferrochemist can probably beat most of the Knights Radiance. That's just me. I'll keep that to myself.
I think it depends. We'll see.
That would start a big debate.
I'm sure we're actually going to see that one day.
I really wanted to see Kaladin kick Kelsey across the floor. That's what I want.
You still could.
Oh yeah, but nope, we gotta shut up because I'll start saying stuff that they don't need to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, read the books.
My
nose.
Another note that needs to be mentioned: there are some islands and some cultures that, where memory artifacts are completely illegal. and frowned upon, and there's others that it is revered, and if you have the ability to create it, or if you are holding on to a powerful memory artifact, memory relic,
death,
then you are revered. You are
revered. Sorry, holy.
Yes.
You are amazing.
Yes.
So not everyone has this power.
No. Most
So
do.
they're like benders.
Kind of. It'd more be like everybody has the capability. Not everybody
Has the gift.
has tapped into it. Not everybody can utilize it as well as others.
Okay.
Right. So even like the weakest of these weavers would be able to take the memory of a spoon, so they could, eat their breakfast, and then they just have a spoon.
Is there a way? Sorry, I just imagine a creepy island where the people have done a thing where they will remember each other so strongly that they basically keep themselves alive, and they're just these old necrotic things.
I feel like because a memory is a shell.
Yeah.
Right. These memories are shells of what they used to be.
And that's what I mean.
Right.
Like, imagine they're like these, like,
if that's the case,
not the same.
If that's the case, they would essentially be zombies.
Imagine if you were keeping me alive so long, like everyone had such good memories of me, Willem, and you guys just tried really hard that even when it's like, let's say, heaven forbid, I get really sick and pass on, but you guys keep remembering it, and you guys basically just keep me on the edge of death with good memories, but I'm just getting sicker and sicker.
Your soul would have passed, but your body would keep going.
Okay. So it's just an empty shell.
You'd become an empty shell.
So it's not me. It's my body. It's my memories.
Yes. The soul continues, but the memory, like I said, a memory is only a shell.
So that's what I mean. The memories are keeping the bodies going.
Yes.
And people are slowly confused because you don't know who is a shell and who is real at some points. Well, you would tell after a while, but
yeah.
Could you?
I feel like that would only be possible by the most powerful weavers.
Just imagine, like, just just like an island. I just want like that island where it's like, and it would be funny if one of their elders was these husks.
Yeah,
and it's how they remember him being this tyrannical, like.
I'm imagining
Coco.
Like,
think of Coco.
Super, yeah. Well, no, I'm imagining like super powerful weavers are able to pull memories of their best soldiers after they've died, and now they just have these husks that are incredible fighting machines, but feel no pain,
and
feel
it's sad
nothing
because they don't remember who they are.
Well, they wouldn't be able to. They're not sentient.
Yeah. No. I mean, like, the general wouldn't be able to remember them personally. You know their names, but no connection anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just
now I can talk about familiars for a second.
Okay.
Now that the magic system's been...
When you say familiars, you mean like witches, animals?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. In traditional mythology, when it comes to witches and wizards and familiars, right? A witch's familiar is often a
crow, raven,
a cat, sometimes a toad that can talk to them.
I realized we said crow and raven. That's funny.
They're
anyway.
different.
Yeah, fine.
Anyway, a lot of people will have a familiar. I had to ask you a question. Did you have an imaginary friend growing up?
No. Isn't that weird?
That is kind of weird.
I didn't. I had. I couldn't like imagine a friend. I had a crap ton of stuffed animals. You've seen. There's a few of them, but I guess those were mine. But I had to like physically see something and hold something. But I could never be like, oh, Jeremy's walking by. Like, I never had that. Nope.
I did. I did.
His name was Ralph, wasn't it?
No, his name was Maddie. Matt.
T.
Matt.
Matt T.
Yes. My brother and I shared an imaginary friend.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Anyway, a lot of people have these imaginary friends in real life. And I imagine it would be the same in this world, and these children that are moderately powerful when it comes to weaving would create, as the imaginary friend begins to fade, they'd pull a memory of that imaginary friend and bring it to life. Right.
So you're saying that they all slowly, because it's like, of course, well, me and Jeffrey went to the moon, and then all of a sudden it shows Jeffrey walk in with an astronaut suit, and you're like,
yeah. Well, like I said, memories will fade over time. A lot of these familiars fade by the time people hit like their 30s or 40s.
So does imagination play a part with memories? Like, if you've convinced yourself with your imagination that this truly happened, because how you imagine a person, I imagine if we both were like, remember that one awesome car and it was amazing, but then you're like, well, it was a blue car, and I was like, well, it was a red car, and then all of a sudden this car comes out and it's purple, and we're like, oh, weird.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of how memories are, right? Like I distinctly have memories that other people remember completely differently.
There's your truth,
kind of like
truth.
the Mandela effect, right?
Yeah.
Like does Curious George have a tail or not?
He'd never had a tail.
No, he never did. But a lot of people remember him having a tail, right? And so their imaginary friend version of Curious George might have a tail, whereas ours, because we know the truth, doesn't. Right. And yes,
Fruit of the Loom did have a whatever that thing is, a Capricornia, whatever. I don't know the word.
The cornucopia.
Cornucopia.
Yes, they did.
Isn't that the thing they chase after in the Hunger Games?
That's the thing in the center. Anyway, so yes, a lot of
no. That's one of the stupid things like Sagittarius, right? You know, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Yes. Shut up. No. Anyway, moving on.
Moving right along.
In case you hadn't guessed, our main character will have a familiar.
Oh.
Yeah. So, our main character. His name is Kale. Kael. Not Ale. And
I don't like kale.
he's young 20s, so a little younger than me.
Okay. What are you saying exactly?
I'm saying you're old. Can't sugarcoat it anymore. I'm sorry.
I gotta shave the face to look younger.
But what Kale can remember from his childhood is that he was orphaned at a young-ish age, old enough to remember and to understand what's going on, but not old enough to take care of himself.
Okay.
He is a very powerful weaver. And because of that, he has taken a lot of his own memories, and so his memory is fragmented from his earlier past. There's just a lot of junk in his house. He lives on this island. It's a fairly small island, maybe about 20, 30 people on it. And his house is just full of junk that is very definitively memories of other stuff. There's there would be some statues of people that he remembers, for example, that have just kind of stopped functioning because the memory of them is fading. There would be, a table that one of the table legs has started to kind of turn to mist as the memory fades. Stuff like that. there's one thing that he owns and one thing that he definitively knows is his. Two separate things. The first is his familiar. It's a magpie called Thorn.
Okay.
I thought magpie fit kind of perfectly because they like to steal shiny things, and I think memories are pretty shiny. I think it fits the narrative. And then the other thing is something that belonged to his mom. That is kind of it's one of those artifacts, right? One of those memory artifacts, something that was passed down from generation to generation. And the older that it gets, the stronger those memories tied to it are. And it's a tapestry that it appears to be just a lot of jumbled colors and a mess of shapes, and it looks like a fancy rug in all reality. But the memories woven into the rug are what make it valuable. I did mention...
Wait. So the memory, the thing from his mom is a rug.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of. It looks like a rug. It's a tapestry.
Oh, it's a tapestry,
it's
but
a tapestry.
He uses it as a rug without thinking?
No. It is rolled up and kept safe.
Okay.
Off to the side.
Okay.
I
need to finish that series. If anyone's read the Tapestry series, give a shout out, because like that's like it. I just barely remembered that book. Oh my gosh. Did you ever read that?
I don't know if I ever did.
Oh my god. Or Charlie Bone. Did you ever read Charlie Bone?
I didn't.
My gosh. That was like these edgy. It was like, what if Harry Potter was edgy and emo? Tapestry and Charlie Bone. Blam. They all had the black. Anyway, all British stories.
That's kind of how I felt about The Magic Thief.
I never read that one.
That was a weird book.
Or Ranger's Apprentice. Anyway.
But yeah. I did mention that Kale has a tattoo.
Yes.
And I will tell you what the tattoo does later.
I was intrigued.
I know.
You got me all excited.
You'll be... I think it'll be... I think it's a fun twist. If that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah. And we'll start... The story will kind of start where Kale's island is being raided.
That's where the story starts.
Kind of where we'll start. I mean, we'll have an intro. Sorry, my throat feels a little funny. The story will have like the 10-minute intro thing where it introduces Kale and kind of the islanders and kind of shows off somewhat of what memory weaving is. And, you know, Kale will every now and again, like he'll go to the market and he'll take a memory of an apple. And so when he gets home, he'll just eat the apple, the memory of an apple, of the apple.
Of that specific apple.
That specific apple. Right. Generalizing is not a good thing when it comes to memory weaving, because if you generalize, if you remember apples as a whole and summon an apple, you no longer remember what apples are.
So you have to make sure it's that apple.
Exactly.
So you open it. So is it like just, a piece of candy? Oh, piece of candy. And then you eat it. But if I'm holding that piece of candy that I made, can I not remember it later?
Nope.
No.
You cannot remember a memory. A memory...
Well, how would I... Well, the thing is, okay. So that's why, well...
Kind of like the copper mines in Mistborn, right? Every time a memory is taken out of a copper mine, it becomes a little less true to the original, when they put it back. So over time, they just get warped and changed. It's kind of the same thing. So a memory, you can't remember a memory. Once the memory is gone, it's gone. You can remember that you used the memory, and there's kind of the subconscious part of you that will remember, you know, what that memory looked like and what it did.
So when he eats this apple, can he not taste it? So he's just eating something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
kind of bland. It's more of a, I am remembering food, and so it doesn't taste like anything because I'm not remembering a taste.
Because if you remember the taste,
if I remember the taste, I will never have that taste again until I taste that thing. Later.
Okay. So you can be vague with a memory.
Yes. But you have to be kind of conscious with it.
Okay.
Right. So there are going to be a lot of these people, a lot of them turn into memory thieves, but a lot of people will generalize too much with the memories that they draw from themselves, and then they won't be able to remember those objects or sensations again.
Ooh, making a forgery. It's almost like the Emperor's stamp. Never mind. It's a Brandon Sanderson short story.
Oh, the Emperor's Soul.
Oh, Soul. That's it. Sorry, not stamp. It involves a stamp.
I mean, yeah. But yeah. A lot of these people that can no longer remember very common things become memory thieves. So they will go out and they will steal memories from people, places, or things so that they can remember, even for a brief moment, what that sensation or that thing or that person was. Another important thing to know is it is very hard to do, but it is possible to take a memory unwillingly from someone.
I was about to ask that.
I could steal a memory from you.
Oh my gosh.
I could take it.
Could you imagine?
So that would be a lot of the forms of torture people would utilize would be, I'm taking your most precious memories away so that I can enjoy them.
Or leverage, because you mentioned his mother.
Mm-hmm.
What if, is there going to be a scene where he is tied down and thieves are going to take the memory of his mother?
It's already gone.
Oh, that's right.
The only memory he has of his parents, of his mother, is that tapestry.
Okay.
That's because he hasn't taken a memory of that tapestry. He learned the hard way that if you generalize memories and you take memories from yourself, you're kind of at a loss. It is subtractive, kind of like hemalurgy. It is a more subtractive magic system until you get really good at it and you're able to do the one-to-one thing where you're able to take a memory of that pen, for example. I don't remember. I will never remember the pen again after I create a copy of it, but I'll remember what other pens look like. It's just that pen I now have, so I no longer remember.
So when you look back on, so let's say you're writing an essay with that pen, is it just a blur in your head?
Kind of, yeah.
But what about when you write with the memory of that pen? What will that memory be? Will you just not be able? It's like trying to load something.
It'd be about the same.
It'd be like a loaded, corrupted file. You're like, so is it kind of like
error
Dalinar?
404 not found?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
So in your mind's eye, like when you're looking at this pen from now on, even if I'm holding it in front of you, it will just be this smudge
until I can visually see it again, because then it'll be a new memory, right?
But
so I can take a memory of that pen as it is right now, right? And I can look at it, I can observe it, I can click it, make sure that I know it works.
So let's say that pen you're holding in your hand is the copy.
If this is the copy, I will not remember this. When it leaves, I will remember that I saw a pen. I will not be able to draw a memory from it. I won't be able to remember it.
Just this one in particular. So let's say this is still the pen that you made.
Yeah.
Right now when you're looking at it, is it off to you?
It would be.
It's like smudgy. It looks different. To me, I'm like, this is
It
a pretty
would
good
be-
job.
It would be more...
I'm thinking of Dalinar with that one thing. One very big important thing.
Kind of?
Like imagine it's just a hole. Like it's a hole in your tapestry. It's a smudge.
Yeah.
It's a frayed thing.
It's a faded memory.
Yeah, it's a fade. And that's just cute because your wife loves weaving stuff. This is very
She likes
cute.
crochet.
But if you were to mess up the crochet or do something, you'll be like, I can tell that's a blah blah. Like I can tell that's a person in the tapestry, but it kind of
feels off.
It feels off. It got unwoven, and then
it has no soul.
It
has no soul.
I have no soul, for I must scream. Wait.
But yeah.
Okay. All right.
So a memory thief would come in and they would take that memory, and generally a memory thief can only take generalized memories.
But that's beside the point. You can't put your memories back.
No, you
that's
can't.
still the awful thing.
But a memory can be woven into something else and then utilized by anyone. So a memory can be taken of, for example, right? If I don't want to forget something or someone, I will pull out the memory and I will weave it into the clothes I wear, or I will weave it into my wedding ring, or I will weave it into a tattoo that I always have.
Imagine just these thieves will mark people that they've attacked, and people will be left with a tattoo, and that will show that you've been marked by that gang.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, at least I got my memories back, but now you have this awful tattoo marking you as either part of them or influenced by them, and it scares people off. So, I had a thought. Me and you have a bad habit, or maybe a good habit, of having our characters really, really not fit in with this world. And you've already kind of said that with Kale.
He fits in.
What if
he's
had
too good
memory loss?
He does.
Okay.
He does. From earlier on. His whole thing is from the age of like 6 until he was like maybe 14. He used all of the memories. He stole his own memories from all of that time. So there are only fragments that he can remember from those like 8 years.
What if he got into an accident? Caused the whole... Like, and that could still go with it, but that'd be really sad if, like, the mystery of the story, like, the big thing is, like, what happened to Kale? Why is he like this? Did he lose both his parents? I don't know. I am really liking this world. Yeah. I applaud this.
This is one of my favorite magic systems I've created. I'm very proud of it.
I love it. My brain is going off, and this is something that it's like, we are not going to get anywhere with this one today, because it is just like, you just said, okay, here's a little Pandora. How's that Pandora's box looking? Pretty good. Might open it. Mm-hmm. I like it. So, what are you thinking about the adventures of Kale? Delicious. Kale.
The pirates would come. The memory thieves would come. They would take memories of different people, and they would find Kale and see that his whole house is memories that have already been used, and they're just kind of like, he's already been done. Like, we just leave him alone. His memories are already gone. We don't need to worry about him.
Everyone just feels pity for Kale.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's just, like, it's bad when a bunch of pirates bust in a place and go, ooh, and they throw you some silver, and then they leave. You're like, oh, geez. When you're so
poor, the robber gives you money.
Oh, you need this. bless you. You need it more than I do. You're like, oh my gosh.
But they will take the tapestry.
No.
They'll take the tapestry.
No.
They will leave everything else because it's worthless, right? All of the memories in there are worthless because they'll fade. But that tapestry,
so when you say faded, is it like their colors fading, or is it like fading, or with it? I keep imagining everything is almost like a tapestry. Things are just unwinding. It just looks wrong.
Kind of.
Like I'm imagining like chair. Like when you've said it's misting, I've been like, no. What if it's like spiraling? Like you said, one of the chair legs. Imagine just wood almost spiraling out like yarn. I was like, oh gosh. So
yeah, that could work.
But the and it would be ironic because all these things look unwoven, but the tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful tapestry, I'm guessing.
It is important. Not necessarily beautiful.
I'm trying to get something out of you.
I know.
He has learned my probing questions, and I hate it.
It looks semi-boring.
It looks important to the plot, Will.
Yes.
It looks like a MacGuffin.
It is a MacGuffin.
Hate you so much.
It is a MacGuffin.
This is what happens in D&D. I will try to like ask a question, and I have got him a few times where he'll be like, "Oh yeah."
There's been a couple times where he's asked, it's either you or Ethan, and you'll ask a really big question, and it's something that I like. There's lore that you guys haven't yet learned, and I'll spoil something on accident. I'm like,
Ethan,
crap.
Ethan asks it in a very Ethan asks it his Ethan way, but I'm just like, oh, so blah 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 blah, and I'm like looking at him, and Tim's like, oh, what?
Can I roll for insight on what to do next? No,
I do not do that.
That is
I don't do that.
That's not rolling for insight. That is rolling for the plot.
Can I get some plot roll, please? If I get a 20 on plot, what happens? Nothing. You get to go home. Oh.
You are granted a square or a cubic inch of land. That is your plot of land.
Oh, shut up.
I might use that. Okay. Anyway. Yeah.
So Tapestry gets stolen.
Yes.
So that starts his big adventure.
And Thorn the magpie is going to be the one that sees it, and he's going to have a voice. I know I shouldn't be, but I've been imagining it as Gilbert Godfrey. You know,
why do y'all think? I wish I could talk like Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah.
It's just Digit and Iago.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Cyber Chase, Digit. Anyway, it's kind of what I've been imagining. Either that or Danny DeVito.
Oh. Man, I was thinking Robin Williams. But
Robin Williams could work, but I'm thinking Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito would be awesome.
Would be hilarious. Anyway,
and the introduction to him in the story, he like comes down, and what's it? Thorn. He just comes down, all beautiful, and small. I'm thinking like a small magpie, and it lands. There you kid! Oh gosh! Flies across the room.
Yes.
Like this small bird, big voice, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I like it as Danny DeVito because, he's the only one out of those that we've mentioned alive and we miss them. But, yeah. It'll be good. I think Danny DeVito rocking just a tiny little bird. Hey, kid, get up. And you're like, oh, and because I love Hercules. So, all right. Love it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Thorn will see it happen while Kale is kind of just doing his own thing because the pirates ignore him. Like they can see even his clothes are just memories. He's at the point where he doesn't own anything because he knows that if he does own something, sooner or later he's going to make a memory of it and he's going to forget that thing. So why bother? Right?
His bed is half like just gone. It's like, and it's just like he owns nothing because it's all memories he gave up, or people gave to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or these memories were taken from him as well. So, anyway, long story short, he's going to Thorn is going to alert him. He's going to run after the pirates. And this is where things will start getting interesting. He is going to draw a memory of some object. I'm imagining immediately a banjo. Maybe we've seen the banjo earlier, or a lute earlier in the hands of someone else.
Someone was just playing it in the village.
Someone in town was playing it while Kale was doing his shopping, and he summons it, and you can tell it's kind of this memory, and he bashes someone upside the head, and then he gets grabbed, and he's dragged on board because he's causing a lot of trouble. People don't fight back against the memory thieves in small towns like this because there's a lot of the memory thieves and not a lot of people on the island.
So I have been imagining I'm imagining a mix of like Moana and Link, because you talked about Wind Waker. Mm-hmm. I've been imagining like a little tan version of Wind Waker Link with little black hair, and he's just like, yeah, like. Now imagine with a banjo.
Kinda, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been picturing Kale as, just this little tiny, like almost like Mowgli. If I were to say like Mowgli, I've been thinking of,
but older. Like he is in his early 20s.
But he still would look. This is such a sad character, Tim. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I like him.
There'll be on the ship. A lot of these pirates will have no memory. He's basically just going to become part of the crew, by force. Like he's going to be forcibly made a part of the crew, and put to work. And a lot of these pirates have no memories at all.
Imagine because only like 3 of them came, and he's fighting the 2 of them, and Kale does something he doesn't like to do, and he steals the memory of them taking like fighting him. He takes it. He just takes their memory like that. Maybe that's anyway. But he shows up with them like, who's this kid? I think he's with us. He's with us, right? And then like Kale, like
too many of the pirates just can't remember anything.
And maybe that's like the crazy thing is like once like the whole world. I don't want to say like this is awful, but this whole world they're all just fractured memories. Like I'm guessing there's only a few islands where everyone is perfectly fine because again, you said that it is
memories are
illegal. You don't do this because it turns you into these. I don't want to say dementia patients, but imagine this whole world is just like dementia. It's terrible.
They're just husks.
They're people. So when they're like, we were fighting, I think, but I think he's with us. I don't remember him. You don't remember anything. I guess you're right. Like, I've never seen him in my life. Dude, do you even remember what your mom looks like? No. Like, just...
The tattoo of the mom.
Like, hold... God.
Oh, yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
So, broken memory. So, it's really hard for people to, like, keep things, like, in order.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying, Tim. But that's with only like small islands, and that's what stings when you live on a small island.
Yeah, but then there are bigger islands, and their next stop will be at a larger island, and this is kind of their, I wouldn't say stronghold. This is the island where all these pirates live, and they just go out every now and again to take memories, so that they can sell them. Right, and so a lot of the memories that are taken are happy memories, and then these memories are woven into articles of clothing for people to wear so they can feel happy while they're doing whatever they're doing. Right, so for example, pirates go out, they loot all of the happy memories they can find from this island. And they weave them all into a bunch of shirts and pants and socks and hats and gloves. all of the memories, these happy memories, because the memories will fade over time and people need...
Is it because...
It's like a luxury item.
Yeah,
almost.
so I'm guessing that there are some people who are thieves, like really... So the really good thieves... Because if I were to take a good memory from you, but threatening your life, that's going to be that's not going to be as good. That shirt that I'm weaving that into... It's not going to last long because you were threatened and scared when you gave me that happy memory. Like, think of a good time with your dad. You know, like, that'd be... But if me and you were conversing like buddies and we were
having
like...
a good time during Dungeons
drinking,
and Dragons, hanging out.
Like, and then we're drinking or whatever, like in this world. And I just casually, while you're talking about it, just slip the memory away from you and put it in my shirt. That would stink, but how would it feel like tearing?
It would feel kind of
like a migraine
almost. Imagine like a cup of water, right? And you're siphoning off just a little bit of the water.
Okay.
You're siphoning off just a little bit of what's on top.
So you can take maybe a part of the memory. You don't have to take the whole thing.
The best memory thieves are the ones that can take that can take specific memories. A lot of these thieves are taking generalized memories.
So I'm guessing
the people on this island are already kind of just meh. They just
so the better ones
live
though
a drab life because all of their happy memories have been stolen away.
They're soulless.
So the only happy memories they have are the newer ones they're creating.
Okay, I'll leave that there because I just had I had a red district idea, mind you. Love like, that's crazy. That's gross, but that would totally fit on this pirate world. And we'll leave it there. So like I said, so the better ones would have to be sneaky, like I was mentioning. Like the best ones are like, I took that. So...
And a lot of the times they're a lot more subtle, right? So I am taking specifically the happy memory from last Tuesday when you were playing fetch with your dog and your dog did something silly. I'm taking that happy memory. You won't remember, it's gone. You won't even remember that you had that memory because it's such a small part. Right, but then I can turn around, I can weave that memory into an article of clothing, and now whoever wears that for the next month will feel that happiness.
But if it's such a big memory, like like a memory of you and your dad, Tim, you and your dad, and it's just a wonderful memory. And if I was talking to you and made you reminisce about that, and then I just took that somehow...
It would feel like you
tore something.
Yes.
So but the thing is that I'm guessing that memory, if I were to imbue that in a shirt or tattoo,
would last way, way longer.
So that would be good for the tattoo artist though, because that means they're like very good at like talking about the memory. Like, I want you to bring this up.
They're like therapists.
Yeah, they're like therapists.
It's like a
so
good therapist.
They're putting it into them while they're talking. Oh, and then you can always like have that whenever. So if I'm like miserable, lonely, and sad, even if I've just been tortured, if I were to press the tattoo that has a good memory of my childhood, like a wonderful one, like one that I really love, I will immediately it'll just hit me. Okay.
Yeah.
So that also means that when they torture people, they just have Torture Factory and they just take the clothes of the torture victims, and then when they are trying to get people to talk, they like, we don't have to hurt you, we can just do this.
I don't have to put these ropes around your wrist that are going to make you feel unimaginable, that are going to remind you of unimaginable pain, but I will if I have to,
because this one was taken right before this man died, and he felt really good right before the end, but you will get to feel it right before he did. So tell us where they are. Or you get to feel that pain.
Yeah, and we'll have stuff like that.
So how do you?
How
do you force someone to imbue it? Like, because like if I'm touching that cloak before I put it on you, would I have to be wearing like gloves to not to be physically touching it?
Kind of. You can kind of block out outsider memories in a way. I'm imagining like I don't have to let the memories in.
So how do they torture people with memories then?
The stronger the memory, the harder it is to block.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm imagining.
Ooh.
I will admit I don't have like all of the details for everything.
No,
I
that's
I have a
fine.
skeleton, but I have a really cool magic system.
No, and the thing is, and I told you, I've been kind of feeling like we need to just start making up the worlds together, talking about them when we have ideas, but then we kind of leave the story for us to write out, and then in a couple months, you all get to actually hear what happens.
Mhm.
But yeah, because I don't want them to get spoiled. I don't want them to know like what I want them to hear these kind of things, and they get excited so that if we do write this one, which I really want to, because this is awesome. This is a fun idea. Like I've never thought of using memories as weapons. Like I imagine like a grizzled, like I just imagine like a war story of a grizzled old soldier, and when they like surround him, he goes, "Oh, today's the day," and he pulls out all memories, and he just. So if you make a memory of a person, like let's say you were that general, if you just make a memory and you just be like, and it,
they would act like the person you remember.
so it would like be a person for a little bit, a
Yes.
woven person. So if this was like one of the best generals, and he needed a last hurrah, and he just started throwing out these things. Like, let's say he threw out like 30 men against 10 real ones. Would that still be enough, an impressive amount, to take on that 10?
Oh, easily. 10 of them would have been. Because they would act and function as the originals. They would just fade. The more, I guess, complex a memory as well, the quicker it would fade. Yeah. Right.
So if he loved these men so much, and then he's giving them like he's doing a final thought, and they just appear. Like I feel like that's just such a tragic way, but I feel like that would be such a cool way to go out. Is like this older character just.
I am imagining we probably have a companion like that.
Mongiazzo type character.
Yeah.
That's been who I've been imagining.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get a Mongiazzo ending. So like
yeah. That would make sense.
So who is the main is the main antagonist?
Here's kind of what I'm imagining is this story would be kind of like what's it called?
Tim, I want to write the first episode, and we just do this episode.
What is it called? Nathan Drake.
Oh, Uncharted?
Uncharted. It'd be kind of like an Uncharted where they're going through, they have this thing that leads them to this big treasure thing, and they're racing against another group. That's kind of what this would be like.
Oh.
Or like an Indiana Jones
Tomb
story.
Raider. Or
Tomb Raider.
All of our
those
adventures.
Kinds of stories where...
Wow, that took a different turn. I never would have... Okay.
Yeah. Well, and we'd come to find out that the pirates were hired to find this tapestry.
They just forgot.
They just forgot. And you know, maybe in a
I didn't forget. Shut up. Okay.
Maybe in a lapsing moment of forgetfulness, they just kind of like, oh, tapestry. Right, like the subconscious part of it is like,
they've been doing this. They've been sending it out for almost a year, and they keep coming back, and they're like,
not even a year, like the last 10 years.
Yeah, just they've been trying to find this tapestry, but they always are like, I remember this time, Captain. Like, typical pirate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out, Tim. What if we did this like old radio show? And this story is like, so for like, we just write 20-minute things and we slowly build this story. Like, this isn't one, and of course we'll have like our other ones, but what if this one is like, tune in next week when blah, 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 because it's a memory story.
We totally could.
I would love to do it that way. So I kind of want to.
If we did it that way, we'd have to kind of end it there if we want.
That's what I'm saying, because it has been an hour. We have talked a lot.
I just want to say that because I kind of bigged up the tattoo for a minute.
Oh yes, you did. Oh my gosh. Do we want to spoil that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm
not gonna remember. I mean, I have it in my notes, but I'm not gonna remember to actually say it. I might pull that memory later. We'll see. His tattoo. I don't care what it looks like. He just has it, and the tattoo would be instructions on how to use the tapestry to find and what the tapestry will find. That's all I will say about that.
Jeez. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a fun goal for us, and maybe by the end of next month, you guys have a couple clips of that story. Yeah. I think that'd be fun.
And if you guys have any ideas on what you kind of want to see from this story, let us know.
What would you put in an article of clothing? What's a memory you would put in an article of clothing or in a tattoo? Or like what would you guys use with this power? I think it's awesome. I think this is fun. I think it's really cool, and I applaud it, Tim.
I am very proud of this. I am very proud of this magic system.
I think this was a great episode, especially after like a month and a half of, I don't want to say that our last few episodes have been boring, but this felt good to just talk about a story. So hopefully next week we give you guys something similar, or we are going to tackle Mufasa or Spider-Man. Been kind of working on that. So
okay.
Maybe. But I don't know. But before I let Tim close us off, I just want to say thank you all for listening. Comment on our video if you've made it this far. We actually had a few more people watch this last one last time, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we love stories and we want to hear from you guys more. So that's all for me.
Yeah. Well, as always, I know it's cliche at this point. We've been doing this. I've done this 80 times now.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a bit. Yeah. I think you've been consistent with it since the 10s at least. Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, as always, love each other, be kind, and remember, because that's what we need to do. And until next time, we will see you later, pitches.
Bye.